Hi everybody. So today we're going to be making our own timeline, and I have chosen to do timeline of air travel inventions. So I taped together 4 pieces of paper, and then I have laid my tape measurer out like this so that it would be easy for me to count up, my tick marks that I'm going to use on my timeline. So I am covering about 240 years, okay? And I thought, well, if I make every tick mark 20 years, if I make every tick mark 20 years, let's see how many, we got to figure out how many tick marks we're going to have, okay? So 1 tick equals 20 years. And to figure out how many tick marks we're going to have, we have to know how many times 20 goes into 240. Okay, so let's go ahead and break this up. There's a lot of different ways to think about this. I know that some of you have had stamp game, and you can try to divide it out that way. You can use a number line, but I'm going to show you one quick way that I did it because 20 is a really easy number to skip count. So 240 has 100 in it, another 100 in it, that's 200, and then 40. So if we added this together, 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 plus 4 is 4. 1 plus 1 is 2. See, so we broke it down into smaller chunks. How many times does 20 go into 100? Let's see. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. It goes in 5 times. So we have 5 tick marks per 100 years. That looks like 106. And we just did the math. We have another 5 tick marks. That means writing the same thing. Now, how many times does 20 go into 40? 20, 40. It just goes in 2. So I'm going to need around 12 tick marks. Okay. Here, 1 tick mark is 20 years. We're going to need 12 tick marks. And I thought, well, I think 3 inches. 3 inches is going to be good to have, distance between my tick marks. So if I'm going to have 12 of them, I want to know how long that's going to make my timeline. So I have 12 tick marks, and if each one was 3 inches, we'd have to multiply 12 times 3. So 3 times 2 is 6. And 3 times 1 is 3. So 36 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and find 36 here on my tape measurer. Let's see, we're still going. There it is, 36. So my timeline is going to roughly be, look at that, 3 feet long, and that's not bad. Okay, you don't want to get too crazy long because it's a lot of paper to deal with, but just about 3 feet. Especially for this topic, I think is going to be a nice amount of space for timeline. So I'm going to come down to my timeline, and I'm going to mark every 3 inches. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, 39. I know I said only 36, but I have room, so I'm going to go one more. And I have, you probably saw a couple years written down there. I was just noodling around with it. Those aren't my final years. So we're going to end we're kind of lucky we have an even year. So 2020, I take 20 years off of that, it's 2000. If I take 20 years off of that, it's 1980. 20 years, sorry, I'm probably not doing a very good job filming. 1960, 40, 1920, 1900, 1880, 1860, 1840, 1820, 1800, 1880. Okay, so, oops, sorry, 1780. One pilot, 1780. So, 1780, 1800, so 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, and then another 20 years. So there's 240 years. Equally spaced out. And that's the goal, is you want it to be equally spaced out, because this actually shows an equal distance between time. Okay, so I am doing timeline of flight. So I'm going to write that up here really nicely. So timeline of flight. And now I need to start putting in my information. Now I've already done all of my research. Okay, so the first thing on my timeline, and I've already done the work, was in 1783, the first hot air balloon flight happened. And that was November 21st, 1783. And first hot air balloon flight lifted off in Paris, France, flown by the Montgolfier brothers. So that's the first time that one actually went up in the sky, not attached to the earth. Okay, the next thing that happened was the first biplane design was created or published in 1843. See that biplane? It's like the one where it has the two kind of supports on the top and bottom of the body of the airplane. And that was designed by George Clayley, and is actually later flown by a 10-year-old boy that nobody knows the name of. Oh, here's Minnie. Hi, Minnie. Go on, Minnie, get off my timeline. Okay, and here's the next little part of my timeline. In 1895, the first biplane gliders were used. So this guy named Otto Lilienthal was the first person to make multiple successful gliders flights using the biplane design for gliders. So as you can see, I'm just slowly adding my information to my timeline. I am writing my information on another sheet of paper and gluing it down. And then that way, if I make a mistake, I haven't written on the timeline itself. I always recommend that when your actual research, write it on little pieces of paper and cut it out nicely and then paste it on. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest of my timeline so that you can see kind of what one example of a timeline looks like. Okay, I'll be back with you. Okay, everybody, so here's the finished timeline. And one of the good things about making a timeline that is equally spaced in time is you can easily see where most of the activity happened. So as we can see down here, not much is happening, but when we come here, holy moly, that's a lot of stuff, isn't it? So it started really picking up around 1900, and it just really took off between the 30s and the mid 40s, didn't it? Lots of stuff going on. So what I did was, since I was running out of space, I went ahead and I just so I put the lines where everything actually happened, but then sometimes they had to go up and all around and crazy. But like so, you see this pink one? So these have to do with this pink line, and here, this has to do with this red line. This goes with this red line. See, Bessie Coleman is here with the green. So I kind of had to get a little kooky. Here I had to make things not horizontal. I think it looks kind of cool though, like that. So that's what having an equally spaced timeline can do for you. The benefit is it can really show you where most of the things took off, pun intended, in the timeline of flight. So yeah, so go ahead, make yourself a timeline. If you need help parsing out the time, ask your parents, another friend. You can email me and ask me. But Emily's playing the piano in celebration. Hold on. Emily, you want to go open the door for Maddie? So I look forward to seeing what you come up with. And I also look forward to making lots of timelines together in class whenever we go back. Okay, thanks guys. Miss you lots. Bye. Okay.